think about it. People pray for answers. They don't get them. And since it's Father's Day, let me ask you a question. How many calls does a father miss before we stop calling him attentive? How many text messages go unanswered before we call it ghosting? And how many times can a child cry out for guidance, comfort, reassurance, or even just a response before people start questioning the relationship? Because when it comes to God the Father, people have been calling for thousands of years. They've been praying, begging, crying, waiting, and listening. And for a lot of people, it just feels like it's going to voicemail. Meanwhile, AI picks up on the first ring. Again, that doesn't mean that AI is right. Oftentimes it is very wrong, but it does mean that it responds. And people ask difficult questions. They get told to have faith. They ask for clarity. They get mystery. And meanwhile, they open AI and they get an immediate response. Right or wrong, they're getting engagement. Have people stopped listening to God? Or have they spent years listening and never heard anything back? And today, on Father's Day, maybe the question isn't whether people are abandoning God. Maybe the question is whether people got tired of waiting by the phone. Is AI becoming the new God? Or is AI simply answering calls that God never returned? If you are a believer, I want to hear from you. If you think prayer answers questions better than AI, call in. If you think AI is leading people away from God, call in. And if you've been wrestling with doubts that you were never allowed to voice, call in. And if you think God the Father has been ghosting his children for millennia and AI has finally answered the call, definitely call in. I'm your host, Thinker, and the Atheist Experience starts right now. Welcome, everybody. Today is June 21st, 2026. It is Father's Day, and we want to welcome you all to the Atheist Experience. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Thinker, and joining me today is Zenamae. How are you doing, Zena?
I'm doing wonderful, Thinker. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you on the show today. I know we've been looking forward to this all month long.
Yes, same here.
Show everybody your shirt, because I think that this is like the perfect opening for Father's Day.
You know, there goes my heart. There it goes right there. This is my true heartbeat. You know, I just think that submissive men are the best men.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I went to a wedding yesterday, and I love my new sister-in-law, but like listening to the vows and the submissiveness and it all, I just wish they would take that part out, because I don't think love requires submission.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Tell everybody about you.
Well, I host shows on TikTok Live. We talk about an array of options. I typically focus on community-oriented things lately, just, talking about purity culture, which has been an interesting conversation. I also do some fundraising for the community as well. So I'm thinking about trying to start a nonprofit. So fingers crossed on that. We'll be doing that by the end of this year. And yes,
the nonprofit going to be like finding missing children. I know you do that. You share the information about missing children, as well as raising money for people in the community. So is that what your nonprofit is going to be about?
Absolutely. Yes, it is definitely going to be towards those efforts. When I was really focused on the missing children, something that really bothered me was that the lack of response from like police stations or anybody that had any, like, courts, right? Like, you could usually go to courts and get some type of documents, things like that. But the response back takes so long. And I want to find a way to speed up that communication gap, right? How can I foster a relationship with those counties and things of that nature so that they are able to get us what we need so that we can help put the word out with facts over feelings about a case or about a missing child, and specifically focusing on brown and black children. That is what I'm honing in on. So
well, I think that's pretty cool. How did you get started with deconstruction and doing deconstruction lives? And
Oh, so that was with my sister Ria. So, back in the day, Mama Africa, my good friend Ria, we used to go live and we would talk about Christianity and how it is a colonialistic basically death cult, right? How it just warps your brain. And together we were like, this doesn't make sense to us, but we wanted to have community. We didn't want to just be alone in our homes, deconstructing this by ourselves. So we started to host lives about real topics about, like, why is this God who belongs to a different culture acceptable for somebody who looks like me, right? What's the benefit? Because all I see is slavery, kidnapping, a lot of horrific things that have happened. So that's why we wanted to voice our opinions and also see if other people were feeling the same way that were in the Black community, but also other communities as well, right? Not just the Black community. And I have found that. So, that's when I kind of started looking at you. Ria put me on to You Thinker, which was awesome. And I was like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be.
Yeah, I know. Ria and I started together. And she went viral for asking that question: if the oppressor and the oppressed are serving the same God, whose prayers are getting answered.
Yep.
And I reached out to her. I was like, "Holy shit, somebody thinks like me!" And I was like, "Do you want to go live?" And we went live that night. And I think you came in the same night.
Like, she told me, she was like, I met this lady named Thinker, and y'all, when I tell you she is the truth, I probably still have this text message from it, but like when she said she is the truth, I was like, well, let me go check her out. And I think one of the first couple of lives you had, Vessel was on there, I think, and they were talking about African spirituality, and I was like, no, you can't go after African spirituality. I was like, no,
because you were kind of in that. Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
I was like, no, it still has some like truth, and now I'm like, fuck it all. Like I don't want none of that shit. But yes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have you on the show today. I'm really excited. We do have a call waiting, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way. The Atheist Experience is a product of the Atheist Community of Austin, 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion of atheism, critical thinking, secular humanism, and the separation of religion and government. This means that you can give a tax-free donation, as many as you want, in fact, and know that it's going to a good cause, but also that it keeps you too. That it helps you to, not keeps you, it helps you. We don't want to keep you. We are trying streaming tonight. So a big shout out to our viewers on TikTok and YouTube. If you're watching us tonight on TikTok, you like to talk to us, then request to join up and we'll bring you up on stage. Please make sure that you are over 18 years of age before doing so. Our first call today is with Hannah, who is a pantheist. They want to talk about why pantheism is true. Hannah, hi, you're on the Atheist Experience. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can I just clarify something about my position really quick? Because I think there's a linguistic confusion here. I'm not a pantheist. I'm a panentheist.
A panentheist? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Explain that for me, please.
So I believe that God is both, I believe all of the physical universe is part of God, but then God is also transcendent of the physical universe.
Okay. And so you believe that all of the universe is God, but God is also transcendent of the physical universe. So God is bigger than the universe or beyond the universe?
Yeah. So okay. I just kind of wanted to explain why, if that's okay. And then if you could, provide why you don't accept that idea, that would also be great.
Sure. Go ahead and explain why.
So my argument is as follows. Premise one, there either something is conceived through itself or it's conceived through something else. Premise two, if something is conceived through something else, it is an attribute and not a substance. Premise three.
Hold on, let me write down your premises, please. So one second. Premise one is something is either conceived of itself. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's either conceived of itself or it's conceived through something else.
Okay. Premise two.
Premise two, if it's conceived through something else, it's an attribute, and if it's conceived through itself, it's a substance.
If it's conceived of itself, it's an attribute. And then what was the second part? If what?
No, if it's conceived of itself, it's a substance, and it's conceived through something else, it's an attribute.
Okay. It's a substance. Okay.
Premise three is
Go ahead.
Premise three is no two substances can share the same attributes, because if two substances share the same attributes, then they would be the same substance. So substance necessarily has to have a unique attribute that makes it a unique substance.
Okay. Premise one.
The next premise is there must be a necessary substance with infinite attributes, because nothingness doesn't exist to confound the substance.
Sorry. There must be a necessary substance to contain the attribute. Because what?
Because nothingness doesn't exist to confound the substance.
Okay. Is that all?
And then the conclusion is, therefore, there must be one substance with infinite attributes that we call God.
I think I'm like already. I don't understand. Like I already reject the conclusion, because even if premise 1, 2, 3, and 4 was correct, like that doesn't mean that we would have to call that substance God. Like I don't understand that.
Okay. So the reason that I would call that substance God is because if a substance has infinite attributes, then that substance with infinite attributes would necessarily have the powers that we associate with God, namely being infinite and being omnipresent, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omnibenevolent, because those are all traits that follow from the necessity of being infinite.
I mean, would you say that weather was infinite and omnipresent?
Well, no, weather is not infinite, but finite.
Like, well, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think. That's true. Let's see. I still don't think that you would have to call the universe God.
But if it's infinite and it has infinite attributes, does that not make it at least closer to God?
I mean, but man defined the word God, right? Like man gave these attributes to this thing that we call God. We don't know what a God is, and there are gods in antiquity or in history that didn't have these omni properties. And like honestly, the properties that humans have given this idea of God, right, of all knowing, right? You can't say that the universe is all knowing.
Well, the physical universe is not all knowing, but the substance would have to be all knowing because of the fact that the substance is infinite. And if the substance is infinite, it would have to contain all knowledge.
When you say this, but how would you know that though? How would you know the knowledge that the universe holds, is what I'm saying.
Well, I couldn't know all of the knowledge that the universe holds because I am finite, but
Right.
I know, but the reason I know that the existence as a whole must contain all knowledge is because, by definition, if existence is infinite, then it contains all knowledge. That's what infinity means. It means containing all.
I still don't see how you can call it God, though.
Okay, so we have an all-knowing, all-powerful substance which created the physical universe. Is that not God?
When you say no, it's not. It's the universe. I still don't understand how you're calling it God.
I mean,
Because
wouldn't that
it
just be
has
explained?
infinite. Well, maybe it's a matter of definition, but I would say that if something is infinite and has all knowledge, then it is God.
But why does it have to be God? Like I don't understand it. Like, would you say life has all knowledge?
Life does not have all knowledge because life is finite.
But it does have, like, life is existence, right?
No, life is not existence. Life is an attribute of existence.
So when something is alive, it doesn't exist? When someone is alive, right, they are existing?
Yes.
Okay. And so this thing called existence, right, which is life, right, would you say that it has all knowledge? Would you say existence has all knowledge?
All of existence has all knowledge by definition, yes.
And so existence is what you're calling God?
Well, specifically, the substance that is infinite, I'm calling God.
The substance that is infinite. So you're calling infinite. I don't know. I think this is unnecessary. Like it doesn't make sense to have to call existence, the substance of existence, God, or the substance of the universe, God. Like, I think it's unnecessary. And it definitely doesn't prove that it's the Christian God or, the Abrahamic God.
Yeah, I'm not arguing specifically for the Abrahamic God. I'm arguing that God exists. And the reason that I'm calling the infinite substance God is because it has the attribute of being infinite and all-knowing. An all-knowing infinite being is God.
But you're calling the universe a being. Do you see what I'm saying? You're calling existence a being. You're calling, like, it. I don't understand the need to do that. Like, I agree, right, that one could look at the attributes of the universe. They could look at the attributes of nature and say, okay, this is what people consider to be God, right? The universe doesn't make promises. We could say that the universe has all knowledge. However, we wouldn't have any idea, of being able to prove that or even tap into that. We could say, existence is omnipresent. I don't see the need, right, of calling it God. I don't even see the need of needing an idea of a God. Like, what does that do for you?
Well, to me, the reason that it's important to name the substance that is infinite and has infinite attributes God is because traditionally God is conceived as that which is infinite and has all knowledge and created the physical universe. And because of these things, I would consider that God. But this is like a Spinozist conception. But if you don't accept that definition of God, that's fine. But many people would call that God.
No, they wouldn't. Many people think that God is actually a being who can talk back to them. The universe does not talk back. The universe does not make promises. The universe does not intentionally punish. That's not what people are calling God. And I think that's the issue that I'm having, because I can see the connection that you're making with the omni properties, right? I reject the need to call it God, because that is a human concept to that has basically been personified to explain these things, right? Within this finite world. Does that make sense? So it's like it's anthropomorphizing the universe when you call it God.
If you don't want to call it, okay, so let me ask you this: if you don't believe it's God, if you don't believe it should be called God or named God, then fine. But do you at least acknowledge that the universe is infinite and must have infinite attributes because of the syllogism that I gave?
You know, I agree, right, that the universe is infinite. I agree that the universe would hold all knowledge. And that's why I said the only thing I reject is you calling it God.
Okay, so if you accept that it's infinite and that has infinite attributes and that has all knowledge, then then I think essentially we philosophically agree. But I would disagree on calling it God. So perhaps, unless your co-host has something to say, I don't think I want to continue this conversation, because I don't think it would be very productive in arguing semantics.
I don't know, Zena, do you have anything? I just don't see the point. Like, I don't see the point of you needing to call it God, because it's not like the universe is going to talk back to you. It's not like the universe has promised you anything. Like, it does not fit what most people on the earth today is calling God, and is believing that they're engaging with. Like, you're not, like, I just don't see the point. But I mean, I definitely look at the universe as, something that is infinite. It definitely would contain all knowledge. I just don't think that we can engage with it in a way where we could understand, right? Like, what the universe is trying to say to us.
Yeah, I think that if something already has a label, if I feel like this is Phil Bro, God of the Gaps talk. Like, this is how this is what I right. This is what I feel like this is, because we understand, and I do like the syllogism, right? That, you said that life has attributes, and you attribute those things to God. They seem to match, right? But we already have a fundamental understanding of those things. Why do we need to, like Thinker said, actually have a being be at the center of that, right? I think it's weird. I don't know. And I do agree. I think this may be a good point to separate ways if you want to, because you're not talking about the Christian God, right? Because we know that God does not exhibit all omni properties, even though people like to label it with such. We have other gods, to Thinker's point, that do not have the omni properties. So trying to make life a god, it seems a little weird. It seems like you just don't like what we have now, which is life is just experiencing time, right? Like, I don't get anything
I think
special
he's saying
from it.
life is. I don't think he's saying life is the God. I think he's saying the infinite attributes of the universe
Is life, like, one of the attributes
is God.
life?
Well, he's saying that that's the infinite attributes of the universe is God, is what makes it God, because it's infinite. It contains all knowledge. But like, what I really want to know the why behind it, though. If you could help me understand that. I understand we're arguing semantics here, but I want to know the why. Like, why do you need to call it God? That's what I'm interested in.
Well, so just to clarify, I'm not saying one of the attributes of the universe is God. I'm saying God is the same as all of existence, and you can call that the universe, although it would not just be the physical universe, it would be every attribute of the infinite substance. But the
Right,
reason
like
I call
life
it
and
God
all
is
of that.
because historically, yeah, the reason I call it God is because historically, many philosophers and scientists like Albert Einstein and Baruch Spinoza had considered this, all-encompassing infinite substance to be God. And so, because of this tradition, I basically adopt the panentheist tradition. But if you just don't consider that a form of God, that's fine.
So you don't feel like you need a God, though? Is that like you don't feel like you need to have an explanation for your existence, and it has to be a God? It can't just be existence itself. It can't just be.
No, I'm saying I just consider existence itself to be God. But if you don't accept that definition, then we can move on.
Right. When I said that earlier, you said that that's not what you were talking about. But I'm asking, like, I understand that you accept existence to be God. Existence is all it is, right? And no one can deny that, right? What I'm trying to understand is why it can't just be called existence. Why do you need to label it God, is my question. Like, is it because it explains, is it answering something for you by calling it God?
So no, it's not because I feel the need to have a relationship with it or call it God because of that. It's because of the fact that historically, things that have the omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent characteristics are called God. So I'm saying
that comes from Christianity, though. That's what I'm saying. That comes from Christianity. And the Christian God does not have those properties. The Christian God does not know all things. The Christian God isn't omnipresent. So, like, these omni properties are not attributed to every God in history. Those properties are attributed to the Christian God.
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree about what to call it. But I'm glad we agreed that the universe is infinite. So in the meanwhile, I wish you a good day, but I don't think this is going to be a very productive conversation.
Well, yeah, we're not. Okay, have a good one. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the point of calling in to say the universe is infinite? Like, did we not know that already? And then, like, you need to call it God. Like, I don't understand that. And I think that's the more interesting conversation. But thank you for calling.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you're Phil Bro, God of the gaps. Like, you're just rewording, remaking things, fitting God where you want to. You reject the Christian God, so you're literally making up your own God by calling God the universe. But what the attributes, right? Because he said, I still have his syllogism, that the attributes that you're giving this God or giving the universe, this God does not have and does not consistently show. So to say that it is a God, it's very weird.
I don't get it. And I didn't know what the fuck to call the, I don't think Supreme Tory is in the box on purpose. Supreme Tory, are you in the request on purpose on TikTok? The events that happen within other planets, like I'm sure they don't call it weather, but there's shit that happens, right? There's storms, meteorite showers and all of that. But so when that shit happens, it's not called weather, but would you say that is also omnipresent? Like, shit like that happens all over the universe, right? And like, so I don't like, I don't get it. I don't get the point in that. And the fact that he would not go into why he needs to call it God. I don't know. All right, y'all. Go ahead and give us a call at, where's the number? 512-991-9242. Or you can go to TikTok and request up. We do want to talk about whether God is the ultimate deadbeat dad today. And I think that in the Davidic kingdom time, he would have gotten a gold medal because he helped his son get out of the boat.
Absolutely. Like, that's what dads do. Like, your son has just ran over somebody. My son ain't going to jail. He's my favorite. I got money, honey. Like, no. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, his kids were what? Samson? He possessing Samson, letting him murk a whole bunch of people. Got Abraham pimping people, you know?
I saw a post on YouTube that talked about how Abraham was a protective husband. Then it said David was a righteous husband.
Don't make me laugh. How did it explain that Abraham was a protective husband?
It was one of those posts. Like, I didn't read. You know what I did? I screenshot it because you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video because Abraham pimped his wife. Like, there's no way. Like, he pimped his wife, then he taught his son how to pimp his wife. Right? And then he had a baby mama that he kicked out because his wife got jealous of the baby mama. He kicked her out and the child and sent them out with some bread and a can of water. And they lived in the desert. And then somehow his God goes, hey, you got to go. You can't stay here. But I promise I'm going to take care of the baby down the line. He's going to get child support when Abraham died. He got nothing when Abraham died. He did not get any of the inheritance. But he was a protective husband. And what? No. And then the David being a righteous husband, what?
He cheated on his wives that he already had with Bathsheba because him and Bathsheba were not married. So
he just added Bathsheba to his harem of wives. Like, after he abused his power as king to sleep with her, to hide what he did, he kills her husband and then just throws her to the harem, like adds her to the harem of wives. Where are they getting this stuff from? That these men were protective and righteous, and it was one more, Job. The only one I agreed with was Job, and they called him the enduring husband, and he did. He was an enduring husband. I will say he did endure. He did not die. She washed his bowls. He just told her, woman, hush your mouth. We serve God around here. He did not. God did not kill his wife, so I don't know if it was because of Job. I don't know, but he endured to the end.
I mean, but didn't she have to go work and stuff? Like,
but they don't know that. They don't know that. They don't read the Septuagint.
Okay.
They don't know that, right?
I was just saying, because she was out there while he was, busting boils in his booty hole. Like, she was out there making some stuff shake. Like,
yeah, they don't know that, though. They don't do no research.
They don't.
They don't.
Because I'm like, Job.
But it says he did endure. Like, the only reason why they called him the enduring husband is because his story is about faith. But, I mean, they just be telling these people anything and they just bite on it. Because ain't nowhere in this Bible where David and Bathsheba are seen in love.
Nowhere.
Like, you don't see that. And she becomes queen when Solomon becomes king. Like, she becomes the queen mother, and Solomon puts her at his right hand. He bows to her in front of everybody, which was not supposed to happen. He bows to her in front of everybody and makes her his right hand, and she becomes the queen mother, and she runs the whole kingdom.
That's because she had a plan. She had a plan. She was weighing David out.
That was her revenge.
That was her revenge. I think you spoke about that, right?
I wrote a song about it.
Yes. Solomon was Bathsheba's revenge, and I agree with that because you think you gonna make a fool out of me? Bet. I got you. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know. And then I saw another video where there was a pastor in he had a blood red jacket on with some blood red shoes. talking about God, don't get jealous of me because I live in a mansion. My daddy take care of me. He said, don't get mad at me because I'm chosen. He said, when you see me, you see the incarnate of God, is what he said.
He sound like Paul, because Paul basically said the same shit. He said, I forgive your sins. I bless you. That's what Paul was saying. We read that the other day. I'm like, ew, why would you? Like, I never understand these pastors who come and, like, they're all fancy and gussied up. Meanwhile, the person that's sitting in the back pew had to take 3 buses and a transfer just to get to your church. And are you blessing people? Are you helping your congregation? Like, that's weird.
Yeah. But that's why they tell them, like, don't get jealous. Like, they're literally talking to the poor people that they're taking the money from. And they're like, don't get jealous because I'm chosen. When you see me, he said, when you see me, you see the incarnate of God. And then what the oppressed does is they stitch those videos and they go, that's not God. Your father is the devil. And I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. That's their daddy.
That's their daddy.
Like, they get mad because the crazy thing about it is that what the pastor is saying is true. That's the crazy thing. What the pastor is saying is true. He's doing everything that this God says to do in this book. But you see the devil when you see the pastor doing that. That's because of your God.
You ever heard that song, Stunting Like My Daddy?
Mm-mm.
You ain't never stunting like my daddy. I'm just stunting like my daddy. Hey.
Uh-uh.
No, that's when you get off of here, go listen to that song and think about what we're talking about. Because they do. They try to stunt just like they daddy, which is God. And then when we point out the crazy, evil things that their daddy is doing, or the fact that their daddy is showing favoritism to them, but not to others. Oh, well, he's a special case. It's special. It's special. Okay. Interesting. Welcome.
All right, y'all, go ahead and give us a call in. If you're on YouTube, y'all tap the screen over there, share the live out. Make sure y'all feed the beast, do all those good things to help us get some people in the room. We are here with Zenamae in her submissive men shirt. Let me go ahead and do these announcements. I be forgetting as a new host. Okay. We now have a channel that houses all of our shows of the ACA in audio podcast form. Visit tiny.cc/AEN podcast. There you can listen to all of the latest shows from the Atheist Experience, Talk Heathen, Truth Wanted, and the nonprofits and others on one channel. Another way to support us is by sending super chats. Get them in and we will read as many as we can. And the ACA wants you to know what is going on in our community. So head to www.atheistcommunity.org where you can learn about the organization itself, its policies, and how you can get involved. We want to send a big thank you out to our crew who put this show together every week. Video operators, audio operators, note takers, call screeners, chat moderators. Thank you so much for everything that you do. It wouldn't be a show without you. And would you like to be one of those attractive crew members, be a guest on one of our shows, or eventually even become a host? We're always looking for people interested in becoming a part of our production. So email volunteer@atheist-community.org to get involved. All right. Zena, tell us about the conversation. Have y'all had conversations today about the God, the Father? I didn't get to join y'all this morning.
So not about God the Father, but I have had conversations about this before where I think last Father's Day, I did ask, why is God such a deadbeat? Like, there's a lot of expectations we have for human fathers, right? And unfortunately, sometimes they just do not step up to the plate. And it's just basic things like buy some diapers, right? Don't think that you're babysitting your child. Spend time with your child, right? Financially, right? Be prepared financially to help me out with bills or anything that comes with raising a child. And then I kind of compared it to the Bible. right? And I was looking at how God provided for some children, but he didn't provide for others. How he showed favoritism to some. And if a father was doing that on earth, you would set them aside and say, hey, you're not fostering a loving relationship with your other child. So how do you expect, right, for your other child to see you as a hero, to see you as somebody they want to look up to, right? I am that other child. Your God, if it really cared for me as a father, would show me his love, right? Respect my free will, right? They like to call it free will. Respect my free will. Respect what I want to do. But the thing is, it's not. It's going to condemn me. His favorite children tell me I'm going to hell. His favorite children say that my sexuality is a sin. And I don't understand why he neglects us and leaves us to our own devices when he says that he's not going to. There's a whole bunch, but it's confusing as hell.
Yeah, they expect us to ignore that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And still call him good. Still say that he's a good father. Which is like, have you ever heard someone say that they don't talk bad about the other parent in front of the parent, the child, in front of the children? They don't talk bad about the parent that left in front of the children. It seems like that is how, we've been taught to see the God. Like, you can't, despite the fact that, this God did not answer your phone call when you prayed, you didn't, get the Christmas gift that you wanted, the healing that you want. Like, you can't talk bad about Bruno. You got to pretend like he showed up to every Thanksgiving, to every birthday party, to every graduation, right? When you were sick, he was there giving you medicine. You have to pretend. And you have to be both parts of the relationship when it comes to this guy being a dad.
100%. And it makes me wonder about this whole, like, providing for us. And that's something that I still can't wrap my head around, right? A lot of Christians like to say, well, God so loved the world. And we know the other part, he gave his only begotten son. But if he's truly loving the world, why won't he answer our prayers? And then he gets pissed off when there are requests that we ask for, right? Like, God, I need for you to clear out this hospital. My cousin's in there. I've got other family. I've got friends. I just see children who shouldn't have to experience their last moments in debilitating pain. God, clear out this hospital. I am your child. I'm coming to you as your child, right? But he won't do it. God, I need this bill paid, right? I've been working as hard as I can. I've been doing my best. I've been saving money, but it's just not enough. God, can you provide for me like you promised? And just like a deadbeat father on earth, just like one who says, I'm going to come next week, or I'm going to get you that PlayStation, right? I promise you I'm going to do it. When you see those promises in the Bible not being fulfilled, who is to blame? Who is to blame for God's negligence when he doesn't do what he says? When he doesn't fulfill the prayer that he says, I have the power to ask. Ask anything in my name, his weird little son said, right? And it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, you have to tell yourself that you actually didn't deserve it. Like, you can't say that he's not fulfilling it. You have to say that you didn't deserve it, or that he loves you so much he didn't give it to you because it would have been bad for you. It would have hurt you in the long run for you to get that job with $100,000 a year. And because he didn't give it to you because he knew that would make you leave him. And he loves you so much. $100,000 in your job will make you leave him, so he kept you. He didn't give you eyeglasses.
Nope.
Like, you prayed and asked him to bless your earthly parents to be able to get you eyeglasses. He didn't answer that prayer because he thought if you see the light, you might see the wrong one.
Right.
And you might leave him.
Right. The light that I see on the road is them damn the brake lights, and I'd be like, oh.
He had to blind Paul. He had to blind Paul, so Paul didn't look over there. Now, Kalu is in my head right now. I don't know.
He was preaching person today. He was reading. I think we were reading Ezekiel. Oh, thinker. Okay, as a father, this might piss some of y'all off, but okay. As a father, why would you refer to your children, right, in a manner that is inappropriate, right? If I am a father to a child, I would not talk about my child's body in an inappropriate way. I would not talk about how I love my child so much.
You talking about
And
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 16, right?
You know what that remind me of though? Romulus and Remus, like they were left on the side of the road.
Yeah, the twins, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
so
found
interesting.
you.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying he's like, I found you,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But you were already my daddy. How are you finding me, your child, on the side of the road? You're gonna clean me up. You're gonna adorn me. You're gonna put fragrance on me. You're going to take my virginity, right? And then you're gonna get mad when I want to go explore the world. I am your child. And another weird aspect to this whole father thing is the fact that we are supposed to be a bridegroom. So not only that, as your child, you're setting me up with your son. I'm supposed to be marrying Jesus? The church is supposed to be marrying its brother? Like, that's weird to me. And the fact that nobody else finds this weird, that, you know, he's my husband and my brother. And if you believe in the Trinity, if you're a Trinitarian, he is also God marrying his children. That's effed up. Does nobody have any thoughts
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. It's the unspeakable in the book.
I don't like it. It's very creepy. It's very creepy.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. There is a call in the screen room. I don't know if it's ready.
Mm-mm.
Super incest is insane.
Super. How you see the chat?
Yes. That is insane.
Hey, on TikTok, y'all.
Is the call? Oh, it's ready. Okay. This is Tom from Texas. They, them. They pronounce on they, them. Tom says God is not only a deadbeat dad; he abandons all creations. I would have to agree with you there, Tom. Welcome to the Atheist Experience. Anyone to start this one off?
Yeah. What's up, Tom? How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. This is I've been watching the show for maybe 15 or so odd years, and I felt like calling in because it was dead, and it's a deadbeat conversation. So I thought I'd try to contribute.
Well, what are your thoughts? I heard that as they were screening you, you stated not only just to humans, but all creation. And I've not even thought about the little
real.
fauna.
If it's real, I don't believe in God, but if say what people say and there is some cosmic creation, I don't think that they are currently watching the earth and listening to your podcast right now. I would think that if something like that does exist out there, and I don't, he would be moving on to much interesting things. I work on stuff all the time, and when I'm done with it, I don't go back to it. I move on. And he is a deadbeat dad. He is a deadbeat dad in every sense of the word. He abandons creations at best. At worst, he torments them. But it is interesting that there is such a, as the previous caller was fascinated with still referring to the universe as God, and just having this not affliction, affinity for it, even though there is not many redeeming qualities outside of, in the lore of the universe, creating existence, which it's sure, we have existence, but it is just
I was gonna say So far, I'm with you. You got me, right? Because
Yeah.
I think that, sometimes we want things to be greater than ourselves, right? We want things to be greater than our own understanding, but we can't really put words to that. So we just attach a label that feels most comfortable for us, right? When it comes to God, I have, again, this is kind of internal critique stuff, but I have such a gripe with this God that I tell people all the time, Tom, if it comes right now, right here, like, man, kneecaps are gone. I'm so serious, because you're right. Like, think about the fact that we've gone from global warming to global boiling, right? We're at a point of no return on this earth, on this planet. And his children are literally trying to bring in his coming without giving a crap about the earth, right? How is it okay for an all-loving God to do something like that? You don't even care that the zones, right? My boyfriend, he does a lot of gardening, and I help.
That's
My
fun.
garden. But the zones have shifted, right? Crops are going to fail. This is going to be so detrimental to our future children, or anybody who's living in the next 20 years. So I'm 100% there with you when you say that he doesn't care. And it's not just humans, it's the whole big picture. We were talking with somebody, I don't know if you were listening, we were talking to somebody the other day about a theory about God. He created us and he just left. He just abandoned us. Like, he put the story together, right? Like a screenplay. Right. And we're just kind of NPCs who are just acting things out. You don't have a choice that you may starve tomorrow because you were born in XYZ area. You don't have a choice that you may not live tomorrow because, you were, unalived in a certain area, right? Like, you don't have those choices because God has already preordained and predestined and just left. He's gone. So he's not going to save us. So I've definitely heard a theory like that before, Tom, and it might be real, might be true. I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think we're just here. And I was thinking to myself, and I don't mean to heel turn too much with this, but when I was younger, like, I'm in my 30s, like, I used to be like this big debate bro with religion. And as I've gotten older, I've been less argumentative with people about that because I feel like we're fighting with each other when the people who are causing the global warming, the people that are causing the hunger, are just profiting by us fighting with each other over frivolous things like an imaginary creature in the sky. And the problems persist. And I just wish that we could be able to put aside like these beliefs that don't matter in the grand scheme of things and actually fight against the people who are causing real harm in our everyday world. Because a lot of these calls, it's not going to be productive, but if we could all band together and actually fight against the people who are causing global warming, causing human suffering, causing problems with these data centers that they are building even here in Texas, like, we could be able to make real progress. And it's just frustrating as I age, just we don't bring the fight to the big people.
I agree, which is why I don't typically do debates. On my show, I focus on discussing so that we can get to the...
I'm sorry if I didn't mean... I'm sorry to interrupt you again. I'm
sorry? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I'm sorry. The website is kind of finicky.
Oh.
But Yes,
Can you hear?
I apologize. The website was kind of finicky, but I didn't mean to say debate. I understand discussion, but just a person.
Oh no, I didn't take offense to it. I'm saying I agree that I think that the debates can be fun, but I don't think that it provides room to get to the nitty gritty of the problem. First, like identifying what's causing it, kind of trying to help take the fog off of people's minds, right, when it comes to what we're experiencing in society, and kind of helping them see the two connections. Like, I don't necessarily focus on saying you don't need to believe in a God. I'm like, hey, look, do you see how these two things are connected, to try to help them see how they are contributing to their own oppression, or their own hunger, illnesses, global warming, the things that they're advocating for, and how those that are in power are using this belief, these sacred texts, in order to drive these things, even driving culture wars, to keep us fighting with each other, even about the existence of a God, as they continue to, push these harmful behaviors even further. Does that make sense? So, like, I try to focus more on discussing the issue and discussing how the belief affects society, rather than you have a belief in a God.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't, did not mean to be pointing fingers. That was not my intent.
Oh, I didn't think you were pointing fingers.
But, yeah. Do you think that we will actually have change in our lifetime, or do you think we'll be able to move the needle?
Not in my lifetime. How old are you? I'm 40. I'll be 46 this year. I think we'll see. Thank you. It's actually in a couple of weeks. Really?
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah. Huh?
I said that's exciting. I hope you have fun.
Yeah, thank you. So I think we're starting to see the needle move a little bit. Not the way that, a lot of us will hope, where we see this massive exodus outside of belief altogether, not just Christianity. But within my community, it is exciting to see the door open up to where we can take a breath and say, hey, I'm atheist, where we couldn't before. And so that is a needle being moved, I will say. But I think we're looking maybe 100 to 150 more years of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that, and I hate to be pessimistic, but I think there's going to be a rubber band effect where they are going to try to come down very hard on speech, on people who look like me, people like you, Tom, people like Thinker, Kelly, like that are outspoken. If you are, I don't know if you are, Tom, but that are outspoken about the fact.
I don't say this about.
And that's okay. That's okay. Look, we all start somewhere, right? But I think that the more that we have these platforms, the more that they're going to come and combat and push back on the fact that we are, again, to Thinker's point, not just saying, nanny, boo-boo, your God sucks, but looking at the history of the God, looking at the history and the creation of the character Jesus, right? Looking at how it influences us every day and exposing people to that fact that you're praying to a God, but he isn't doing anything for you. You're doing it yourself. And not to sound woo-woo, but I think the powers that be don't want people to have self-confidence. They need sheep. They don't need leaders, right? Yeah, they don't want people to find confidence and power in power within themselves. So when you're deconstructing, I think, Christianity and any of the Abrahamic religions, you really are calling power back to yourself. You're saying God didn't work hard and buy this car, I did, right? But the Christian God is very much it appeals to authority. When you stop doing that, now the government has an issue. Or not the government, sorry, but the powers that be have an issue, right? So that's why I don't think that we're going to see a real big change, right? I agree with Thinker's timeline, at least 100 to 150 years where there's not, I think, 2% of atheists in the country or whatever that number is. I'm probably wrong in that and I apologize. But that percentage will increase. But, as long as people are speaking to this God, as long as people are going and paying pastors to tell them that they're wretched slaves and they deserve to have their money taken from them, it's never going to die out. Or it's always going to be a problem.
Wow.
But I think we have hope. I have hope.
I just wish I had better health care so I could see that 150 years from now. But I just can hope for the next generation.
I see them, the younger generation now being more willing to question, even though some of them are still believers, they're willing to push back on things that don't make sense to them. And they're willing to reject it outright. Even though they're still kind of like hanging on to tradition and some of them, the younger men, are being indoctrinated into a new form of belief
about the manosphere.
Yes, and they're still hanging on to this God because the God defines in this masculinity and it gives it authority. And so even though they don't necessarily, hold to the fairy tales, like the mythologies, they still hang on to the idea of the God, the Christian God, giving them this authority of being the one with dominion on earth. And they're going after younger males.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable. And so I will say that I've seen a lot of young men even push back. It's about probably 50-50 right now, pushing back even on that. And so I have hope in the younger crew. Most of my children are atheists. I have one that is a Christian and one that identifies as spiritual. But I did not raise them in the church the same way that I was. Even though when they were younger, we did. And then even though we didn't go to church, they saw me praying, right? But I still didn't push what I believed on them. And then when they saw me deconstructing, I allowed them to ask their questions. I allowed them to go through their process of critical thinking and land where they felt made the most sense for them. And I see a lot of the youth doing that, especially like the ones that come up and talk on Tuesday nights. I have 18 and up. And allow the youth to be a part of the conversation because I don't talk to people's kids about faith. But when the 18 and up come up, like they're so bright and, not for some odd reason, the males are not. They come up, they're so filled with, not all of them. Most of them, the young 18-year-olds are already filled with like the masculinity, right? And they want to fight about what it means to be a man instead of talking about the topics. But the young girls that come up, the young women, they're already thinking about the future and how this is going to affect us from years to come. So like I'm really, really excited about about this age group, and I think they are going to end up being the ones that's going to usher in the largest change. But we have quite a ways to go with them. I think it's going to be how they raise their kids that's really going to do it.
Well, I think what you're doing with your kids, even the one who is starting to go into the spiritual route, is a good thing. I've always believed that as people, we just have to instill the best qualities that we have and tell them to the next generation and let them decide, have the freedom to decide what they want to do with that information. And then kind of like former President Barack Obama actually said a little while ago, to get the hell out of their way and let them pave their own path. And I wish more people thought like that, because I do have faith that as time goes on, things will get better. It's fucking slow, and I'm sorry for cursing.
No, you don't have to curse. It's fucking slow. It is. And and I was thinking this morning, like, I wish, like, all of these older people who are about to, like, you know, get on the bus out of here are trying to turn the clock back to make people who are still here experience what they experienced on vacation. Like, why? Why does my vacation have to be like yours and you getting ready to leave and go back home? You see what I'm saying? And it's because what's happening right now, the world that we need to get back to is a world that these older people lived a long time ago, and they're almost done. And I hate to say it that way, but their trip is almost over. And what we should be doing is making sure that we leave the Airbnb in a better condition than we left it, right? So that the people coming in next can have a better experience, can enjoy and have a better experience and be safe. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is the people who stayed in the Airbnb go, oh, I like it this way, so I'm going to change everything. I'm going to fuck all this up. Fuck innovation, right? Everybody ain't got to eat. I'm taking the food for myself. Like, that's what's happening right now. And we've got to stop it, or else the babies that they keep saying that we need to have because abortion is wrong, where they're not gonna have anywhere to live. They're not gonna have any food to eat. They're not gonna have clean air to breathe because all these old people who had an awesome time when they were younger want to force everybody else to live like them.
It's not even that they had an awesome time. It's they are having an awesome time in their old years, and the only way for them to stay like that, and for their buddies who are younger than them, and when I say younger, in their 60s, can be able to have that same fun time, as just keeping everything down for the rest of us. And they just have to keep the world being, people being oppressed, people having to struggle, so they can be able to profit and be able to have that 1% of 1% lifestyle. And so a lot of us are just trying to get by. And I don't know how many people are listening right now, or if there's people behind me in the queue. But if there is nobody and you are listening to this right now, your voice matters. Please call in on the show. Your voice matters just as much as mine, if not more. If you're younger than me, please call in. We'd love to hear from you. And I'm happy to get it the fuck out of the way. I stand by that. I believe by that. But
I love that, Tom. Thank you for that. You brought us some really good points that I think is kind of something that's rolling around in all of our minds right now. The future and what it's going to look like, and what legacy are we going to leave behind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I won't take up your time if there's.
I mean, it's kind of weird because we don't have any callers today. Waiting in queue.
Show, God fucking damn it, mother whore.
I know, like this is weird. Maybe everybody's out celebrating their dad. Everybody got dads all of a sudden this year.
Right. I was gonna say maybe they're not so much deadbeats. So.
Well, I mean, it's maybe not the best traffic hour. Maybe after dads go to bed, people might call in. I don't know if you're doing this all day. I don't know if you guys, you said you had a kid. I don't know if you were celebrating Father's Day or if you did that already.
I'm a grandmother.
Mine is with his father.
How are you having grandchildren? How can you afford? How do your children afford to have children?
my oldest son is 23, so I have he has 2 kids.
Oldest son is 23. Oh my goodness, that is wild.
Yeah, my youngest is 18. Will be 18 in next week. My oldest will be. My youngest will be 18 next week.
Big time for birthdays.
Yeah, but somebody commented on one of the videos and was like, Thinker saying that she's getting ready to be 46 means she's almost 50. Says something about her. I don't know what yet, and I'm like, what? Am I
because you're aging? What?
Am I closer to 50 or not? Like
people. I know that means, let me explain for the young people watching. Look, we're not bad people as we get older. The problem is things stop working, bones start creaking, things like we want to be fun and young. Like most of us here and like the people in the chat, we're kind people. Not old people are bad people. It's just some people that are good just don't move the same as they used to. And we want to. I used to go to conventions and walk floors for an entire weekend or go to festivals, and I can't do that without medication anymore. But I still
right.
I'm not gonna hold you. When I get older, I just want to have like my little nice house with a porch and a rock chair and a little BB right there on my shoulder to, just get off of my lawn. Like that's the dream. I'm not gonna hold you.
That ain't gonna be me. I would never tell a kid to get off my lawn.
But it'll be a nice.
No, not my babies, But maybe the mailman go away.
I told you my next door neighbor be tripping. I don't understand the little old ladies. They be like telling a toddler, "Don't step on my grass." Like it's a toddler.
It's a child.
I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you this: don't live in like a homeowners association or
never
kind of places. Yeah, those are the worst. Like if you hate your neighbors, like you don't hate your neighbors until you live in a homeowners association. I've heard.
I used to live in one. It was really
too.
bad.
I loved my neighbors. I never had any problems with them.
My parents got sued by their neighbor. Crazy man. Thought that his house was flooding because of my mother's garden. He was a loon. People that live in a homeowners association are basically like locational spots like Florida. Like people don't go to Florida to retire and be old and just do that. They do that to go there, retire, be old, complain, and just never retire to Florida. You're just going to feel older than you actually are. But being 50, it's not a bad thing. It just things are going to not just be working as much as they used to. So I'm only 30 and I fear 50, but not for just being old. It's just feeling old. That's the worst part.
You said you're only 30?
32. Although I was 29
Good old days.
for 3 years.
I mean,
when you feel that first knee crack, friend, let me know because both of my knees are cracking now. I'm like, oh.
Do you think if I was like healthy 32, I'd be calling in on the station? No, like my body is broken, so I'm just short. No, my knees and back are screwed up. I've been hit by a car like 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. it has not been an easy life for me, but not with the like unsafe drivers that live in Texas and the bad healthcare. But I do what I can. But yeah, just people get old. It's the thing about getting old. It's not about and the judgment that young people have about people getting old. It's not about. It's about how you age with grace and not be old and bitter or old and unwilling to let young people go on and like do their own carve their own path. You have to get the fuck out of the way as you get old. And I hear it's as people get older, it's very alluring to tell people how to do things. And I even try to give my advice, but like the best thing you can is tell them what you found, but you can't force it on them, and you have to let them find out their path in life. Hope that they don't just teach them the mistakes that you made, but don't tell them how to go about their lives. That's the key thing.
Yeah, if they would listen, that's the main thing.
I mean, yeah, then
it's keep in their ear.
Mistakes. Then they'll make the same mistakes, but then they might look back and then they can try. And again, the needle will move slowly, like 150 years, like you said, but just we can try, but we have to leave the Airbnb in a better place, or if we can't leave it in a better place, then just the way we left it. Because we came into this world, and while it's not a perfect world, we were able to come into it. And we just need to hope that the next people can do a better job cleaning the Airbnb than us. And the least we can all do is not shit on the floor before we leave.
Yep, that's true. I like that analogy, but it made me think of some people, but I'm not going to say any names. But
hold on 1 second. What are you telling me? You know somebody that? What did you go to an Airbnb and you found like some shit on the floor? What the heck?
No, they shit on my stage on TikTok.
Are you saying that your co-host shit on the floor in an Airbnb?
No, not my co-host. No, absolutely not. No,
we have slept in the same place together. Yeah, absolutely not.
No, but on TikTok, a believer came on my stage, turned their camera on, and shitted in the camera in the name of Jesus.
Oh, lovely. I didn't know. So I'm on YouTube, so thankfully I don't get to see. I was going to say that shit, but like that would have been really apropos. So yeah. Super. God, thank God I'm not on TikTok. That's yeah. So did they shit on the lens or like because they're gonna have to clean that?
They bent over in the camera and dropped one in the camera.
You know what? I'll give them this impressive aim. Good job. like it would have been very embarrassing for them if they missed and then it hit the floor. I mean,
we were mortified, and like it took us a second to get through that because we was.
I would have ended the show personally. I think like you know what, like I think we're gonna call it there because, but they really shit on their phone. I try to keep my phone safe. Like I can't afford to buy new phones all the time. Like the people are fucking shitting on their phones, and I need to know what that person's like career background is that he can just shit on a phone and just get a new one.
It's gross, but the things that people will do in the name of their belief is fucking insane.
The Lord has spoken and is moving through me, and it is moving through my bowels, and it needs to commune to you through my camera lens. So that was actually the Lord's poop trying to commune.
Yeah, exactly.
It did not go through though because the connection.
It looks like we do have 2 calls. We have 1 call in queue and then one on TikTok.
Happy
but I enjoyed talking
you
with you
and your family.
Thank you so much, Tom. I hope you have a great rest of the day as well.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was a good conversation.
It absolutely was. Yeah, TikTok be wildin'.
Yeah. That was crazy. Zamawase.
Zama Zama is fine.
Zama. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you guys?
I'm doing good.
Doing good.
What are your thoughts on the topic today?
Zina.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well.
Okay, so Tinka and Zina, I'm here just as a very engaged person in all of the platforms you guys are on. I'm South African and I have learned a lot from everything that you guys have engaged in all this time, right? I turned 40 on the 17th of June. And thank you, Zina. And my biggest fear was going back home and engaging with a family that is very Christian, right? And they are really just pushing it down my throat. This is who you are, and this is who you've been all this time. And I don't think that's who I've been all this time. And my hurt is I don't want to disappoint my mother, especially because she's in a fragile state and all of that. And I don't know how to engage her in disappointing her, basically. You know, I don't know how to disappoint my mother in her late stage of life and in her celebrating my life in 40 years of life. How can I just merge the two? I don't see how that can be accomplished. And that's my hurt.
You want to?
Yeah.
And maybe it's also maybe this is also not even about the topic.
No. You're good. You're good. We take all topics, but prioritizing theist. But I wanted to give Zena an opportunity.
Thank you. Zama, wonderful. I'm glad your birthday's coming up. So congratulations. Or it just passed. You said June 14th, right?
17th. Yeah.
17th. Well, congratulations on a big 4-0. It's a big accomplishment. Yeah. When it comes to moms and parents who have had this religion for so long, I'm super hands off. And this is why I say that, because you have explained that your mom is a bit fragile. And I was actually telling some friends the other day that, if I had this conversation about deconstructing with my mom, she would literally have a heart attack. And I don't want to cause her pain. So because of that, it is hurtful, right? But I'm putting my deconstruction and I'm in a separate category than with my mom, right? I'm not merging the two. I will not fake the funk for my mom, right? I'm not going to pray over my food. I'm not going to do anything like that. But for the sake of peace, I just don't mention it. That's a boundary that I've created because I love my mom, but I don't want to be disrespected or gaslit. And I don't want to be the cause of causing her any mental or physical anguish. So that's number one. I understand the desire to be open with your mommy. Like, mommy, I found something new, like a child. I want to share this with you. I feel like we can have a good talk about this. But at the end of the day, it could open something that you just can't close. And if she is, older, she's not going to be here for long. I think the time that you have should be filled with love and joy and whatever family traditions that you guys share. As far as like deconstructing, right? Your deconstruction is your journey alone. You don't have to tell anybody about that. And it does not make you lesser or anything. I think that when I first started deconstructing, I actually wanted to shout it to the rooftop. I don't believe in this fucker. I don't believe in this God. I don't want nothing to do with it, But
Yeah.
I realized that this is a personal journey. This is something that I have to take my time with. I don't gotta talk to everybody, and that includes my mama. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
And yeah, it is conflicting, right? Where you do want to say, Mom, I found out that God swallowed up people in Exodus, right? And in Numbers. Like I found out that Jesus Christ, was healing slaves and stuff like that, but he won't put shoes on your feet. Like, I want to talk about these contradictions, Mom. I want to have dialogue, but to what end?
It's very difficult. I must say the thing I struggle with the most is just trying to humanize my mom and the experiences that she's had as a person who's been religious all her life. And a person who then taught her kids to be that as well. How do I then, and maybe not for this platform, but for me, myself, how do I then kind of engage and disengage with whatever it is that she's kind of built?
You create boundaries. It is hard. It is hard to create boundaries with a parent at any age. But you do. And only you know how far you can push that. Sometimes it may have to be, Mom, we can't have this conversation. And you may want to put it to where that you're saying, I care for your health. I care for your mental health, your physical health. I know that when I bring this up with you, you get a bit riled up. And I wouldn't use the word riled up, but you it may strike you in a way where we start to have contention with each other. And I don't want that contention with you, right? Because I love you. And I was talking about somebody the other night about forgiving my mom for doing the best that she could with what she had at whatever age. I forgave her, but I haven't told her that I've forgiven her because I don't want her to weaponize my forgiveness so that every time I talk to her, she's like, oh, well, you don't believe in this. You don't believe in God. Well, what do you believe? Like, I don't need her questioning me every 2 seconds, right? And then coming back to me and saying, I shouldn't have talked to you that way. I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me? No, right? One step at a time, one day at a time. But trying to have that conversation, if you really want to, I say start small. Something Mama Bash told me that her son, Sebastian Cole, used to do was ask her a question and just let it marinate and walk away. You're not looking for confrontation, not dialogue, just, are bats birds, Mom? Skedaddle. Just like that.
And I know for me, because I heard you ask, like, how do you humanize her? And that was something that I struggled with my mom, because we fought all the time about this God. And it was me seeing her pain that she was going through when she lost my father. Because I was looking at her through the lens of, she is, a wife that just lost a husband. She's our mom. She's also the first lady of the church. And I had like all these expectations on how she should handle that grief, what she should do going forward, like with her life. And she took us to a cabin, and she was telling us that she was going to get married again. And it was like 8 months after my dad died. And I was like, what? You getting ready to do what? And she took me into the master suite, and she talked to me. And like I saw her for the first time in her pain, and I was able to actually see her. And then when I had to get my hysterectomy, I had to stay with her. And she told me stories about when she was younger, and the bullying, the wearing the long skirts, and not being able to date, and like all of this stuff. And I'm seeing her, right? She at the cabin, she said, I don't know anything else. She said, I went from my mom and dad to your dad. She said, all I know is my mom and dad, your dad, and God. She said, I don't know anything else. And I'm seeing her, and I'm like, holy shit, that's true. That she don't know anything else. That's why all she can talk to me about is God. That's her safety net. And her way of showing me that she loves me is, I need to give her what is me, and that's all that I am. And but the thing is, like, she couldn't see that what she was calling love was harming me, because that wasn't who I was, and she was not willing to accept it. And so I had to first see her humanness and understand and accept her for who she was first, before she could accept and see me, because I had to set the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
And it was me accepting the fact that she would never be who I needed her to be, and I needed to accept her. And once I was able to do that, she was able to like accept that this is who I am. I saw her yesterday, and it was, we've come a very long way. We've come a very long way. Now, she still loves her God, and she will tell you in a minute she loves her God more than she loves her kids. But her actions don't speak that, because the fact that, she knows that I'm an atheist. She knows that I host these lives, and she knows, and
Yeah.
she still, like, when I was a believer and I was questioning, I was, Satan, the Lord rebuke you, demon this, what's wrong with you, Satan, to now I'm an atheist, and it's, hey, baby. And that's not normal for her. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took for me to see her humanness. It took for me to acknowledge and accept her for who she was. Acknowledge that she was a little girl, and she was hurt. She was bullied because she was a Christian in school, and she had to wear long skirts when other people didn't. Like, she got beat up for wearing long skirts. And so I had to, I'm about to cry, because I had to acknowledge that this is her life. And we've lived two different lives. I've traveled the world, and she hasn't.
And that's so hurtful. I'm sorry, Thika. The point that you bring across to me as well is so hurtful, because I want to carry all my mom's hurts. I want to carry everything that she has not experienced in life. I want to be able to give her something beyond herself. But I cannot see a point where we agree on a religion. I can't see a point where we just, I can't see a point where religion for her is the first priority and I'm a second priority. And now we have to just be okay with that. I can't. And that's what's hurtful for me. So I understand what you're what you're expressing about even your mom and your family situation. It's hurtful. It's hurtful. And as a Black South African woman, it is what it is. We just carry it slowly but surely, and we just engage in these platforms like this. We try to learn, but I don't know if we just doing this for the now or, I don't know.
I think, first, I don't think that you should try to carry your mother's hurt. I think acknowledge that she's human, right? And that she has had some pain, and that might explain some things, but that doesn't mean that you should have to carry it, right? And that doesn't mean that you should be okay, or that you have to be okay with her saying that there's, deity that she's never seen is before you, and that she loves that God before she loves you. You don't have to be okay with that, right? Acceptance is one thing, right? But saying that it's okay, approval is another. If that, so I'm not saying that you have to do that. I definitely think that carrying her pain and trying to usher her into healing, or fixing something that you cannot fix, it's going to disrupt whatever you're looking for in the deconstruction process, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't be her God, and you can't be the sacrifice. Yeah, you can't be the sacrifice for her so that she, gets what this God never gave. Going into understanding why she thinks the way she thinks, which is why these conversations are important. And as I was just telling Tom, I was telling them that for me, the discussion part and getting to the root of it is the most important part, because I feel like that's what's going to move the needle. It's because people are going to start having these realizations and saying, oh, this is why I think the way I think. This is why my mother or my father think the way they think. And then being able to gain the courage to set those boundaries, as Zena was talking about earlier, and enforce them, and, learning how to enforce them, while at the same time, if it's good, maintaining the relationship with the family. Sometimes not maintaining that relationship is the best thing for both sides, because we had somebody on stage the other day who said they killed a non-believer just to give them mercy. You got a family member that believes in killing you so you go to heaven. You don't need to cut that. You ain't got to long suffer with that one. But I think that's what these conversations do. It helps you kind of lay out all of your thoughts and your lived experience in front of you, and kind of put them in places and go, oh, that's why that's there. Oh, now that don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So, just thank you both for just being here, to be a listening ear, and to try and navigate my thoughts as well, because what you said a lot here makes sense. It does make a lot of sense, and it's just for me to try and replicate that into my own life, and try and figure out where it all fits into trying to not change my family perspective at all, but trying to express myself in a way that maybe they would understand, and that's what I was hoping for. I listen to your lives a lot. I think I listen to your lives a lot. So I hope I've learned enough for me to be able to navigate this on my own and be able to gain something out of it. That's my hope, you know? So thank you both, and that'll be me.
You got this. Don't worry. Nothing gets accomplished overnight sometimes. It takes time. So don't put so much pressure on yourself. Okay?
Yeah, a lot of time.
A lot of time. You got this.
Thank you.
And you have us.
Yes.
So if you need to come and holler at us on TikTok, hey, we could talk you through it. Like I'm telling you, there's been many a times that, you know, I've needed to talk to somebody and say, guess what she did today?
I was doing that last night at Kalu's live. I was like, y'all, let me tell you. I'm parents, man. We love them, but sometimes they push us. You know?
Me.
All right, love bug. Have a great day.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right. We have our final call. If I can find the call in, I done lost it on the screen. Okay, there you go. All right, our final call is Asherah from South Africa. Asherah wants to know, was John the Baptist a disciple of Jesus or the other way around, maybe? Hey, Asherah, how are you?
Hi, I'm good and yourself?
I'm doing good. So you want to know if...
Sorry, I was so...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying I was still listening to the last call, and I was like, oh, Summer, I feel me and you, Summer, were on the same boat. I understand how you feel, so I was just like sitting here. I even forgot that I was in the queue this entire time.
Yeah, I think we've talked several times before, right? On here?
Actually, once.
Oh, is it?
Once.
Why do I feel like I know you? No. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was once. It was one time, I think, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
With a godless engineer, and then I disappeared.
Oh, okay. It was a memorable phone call.
Yeah.
But
thank
okay.
you. I was nervous.
Oh, you did good. You did good. You say you want to know if John the Baptist was a disciple of Jesus or the other way around. That's an interesting one. I have a lot of thoughts about Jesus and John the Baptist. But again, I want to give Zena the opportunity. Go ahead, Zena.
So I love this question because I'm a big fan of John the Baptist. Frankly, I think that Jesus was a fanboy of his cousin. And he was like, I'm going to take this stance that Jesus was a disciple of John the Baptist. And the reason being, if I had to put a category, I don't think he was actually a disciple, right? Of either one of them were disciples of each other. But John was out there giving the baptism of repentance. Jesus sought John out, not the other way around. John baptized him under, right? He baptized him under forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
Repentance. And then that is when, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I wanted to explain. Basically, the reason why I had this question was I was listening to a stream because I breathe and drink the atheist experience. This is just my life now. But I was listening to, I think it was Justin and Forrest Valkai, and they were talking to an theist who was trying to make an argument. I even forgot what the argument was about, but it was about John and the Baptist and with Jesus. And then Justin was like basically explaining the verses. And then I was like sitting here and I was like, Justin, what are you trying to tell me? Actually, what are you trying to tell me? What are you saying? What are you implying? Because I was like, caller was trying to explain why Jesus was going to see John the Baptist and why he needed to be baptized by John, and then Justin was like, "What do you think he was doing when they were at the lake? Do you think they were just hanging out like bros? Like, what do you think was happening?" And I was like,
they were doing some work with each other. Okay,
are you saying what I think you're saying? I was like, are you saying what I think you're saying? Are you trying to tell me this man was a fan? He's like, what do you think they were doing? What do you actually think they were doing? And I even tried reading the verse where Justin was quoting about, he who comes after me has a higher rank than I and has a priority, for he existed before me. And he explained that verse and explained the other one. But I think I was kind of confused because there was a part where he said that the author of the Bible was talking to John or something like that. Maybe I just didn't understand correctly. But I was like, wait, I need to talk to someone about this because I don't understand what's actually happening. But I'd love to hear more of like why you think that Jesus would be a disciple, or you would see him as a disciple of John the Baptist, because I know that John the Baptist was so much of a big deal, and I didn't know he was this much of a big deal. But yeah, I'd love to just hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, like, and again, not that he was an actual disciple, because it's crazy. John had his own disciples. He had his own ministry. He had his own people, so much so that they're the ones who came and got his head, right, in his body after, he was unalived, right? So he had his own following where Jesus hadn't really quite established himself yet. And like I was saying, it was when John baptized Jesus, you see God in the very few times he's like talking or interacting with the humans in the New Testament. You see him actually saying something, but John was the catalyst. When it comes to his birth and his origin, right? Elizabeth and Zachariah are old in age, but they come from a very unique lineage, right? So, she's the daughter of Aaron. He's of a special priesthood, right? He has such a more of a fantastical, I think, origin than Jesus does. And then last but not least, I feel like John may have been a real person, like at least maybe historically, not actually doing those like miracles, right, or anything like that. But maybe he was an apocalyptic preacher just like Jesus was, and Jesus kind of stole John's message. So, if I'm using the Bible and I'm doing an internal critique, I think that, John was a threat to Jesus de Cristo. And I think Jesus appealed to John's authority, is what I think.
Oh, yeah. Wow, because I was still going, I'm such a lazy person, but I was supposed to finish up like a video on data over dogma. That's like where I get most of like my knowledge from, by Dan McClennell. So that's where I get most of my knowledge from. And I was still like sitting here and going through the verses, and I was like kind of like wondering why the Jews sent the priest and the Levites in John chapter 1, verse 19. Like, why would they need to send priests and Levites to, I'm assuming, getting a testimony of John to ask him if he's Elijah or ask him if he's the promised prophet? And I'm just assuming, like, was like John claiming he was the Messiah? Or were other people claiming that he was the Messiah, that the Jews had to send priests to kind of confirm this, to ensure that, is this correct? Is this man the Christ? Is this man Elijah or the promised prophet? I found that really fascinating. I was like, what was actually happening? Why would they need this information?
Yeah, so like it sounds like John is doubting there, right? Because they were supposed to have a militant Messiah. And so he sends his disciples. He's like, go. Like, he's hearing all of this fantastical stuff that Jesus is doing in the city, but he's not doing what the Messiah is supposed to be doing. The Messiah who's supposed to be, restoring the kingdom, right? And Israel and Judah are supposed to be safe in the land under this Messiah, this militant king. But Jesus is, turning water into wine. He's raising the dead. He's healing the sick. Like, he's doing all this supernatural stuff, right? And John goes, hey, go and ask him, like, is he the Messiah? Like, something changed? Like, is he the Messiah? Are we doing something different? And Jesus is like, hey, tell him that I'm raising the dead. I'm healing the sick. Like, he tells him, like, in other words, this is what the Messiah does. And it's kind of like you get this. This is where you start to see that the kingdom, what the Messiah was supposed to do, it's not physical. He's supposed to. He's not supposed to come and fight a physical army. He's not supposed to sit on the physical throne. This is what the Messiah is, right? And then I agree with Zena. I definitely don't think Jesus was necessarily a disciple of John the Baptist. I think the real Jesus was a crook. I think he was some thug that had a gang of dudes, and he was teaching them some bad stuff. Like, he taught them to appeal to authority, right? Like, if you look at John is teaching the Israelites, hey, don't be like, I can do whatever I want because my daddy is Abraham. All right. He tells them, don't exploit. He tells the tax collectors, don't exploit people. Don't take more than what you're supposed to have. Right. Jesus comes along and Jesus says, Zacchaeus, salvation has come to your house today because you are a child of Abraham. He does the exact opposite of what John was teaching. Right. And then when he's talking to, when the tax collectors come to him to get taxes, and they ask Peter, why don't your teacher pay taxes? Like, they're noticing Jesus is not paying taxes, so he's bucking the system. He's not paying taxes. And then Peter gets home, and Jesus, like it says, Jesus already knew that conversation happened, right? And so he says, Peter, let me ask you a question. Do the officials charge their sons taxes or just the others? Like, do the sons pay or just others? And Peter go, for sure, others. For sure, they ain't taxing their son. And then Jesus is like, okay, listen, the sons are free. And so just so that we don't offend them, we're going to go get this coin and go fish it out of the sea and go pay. Like, this was Jesus saying, notice that the kings of the earth don't charge their sons. How much more you think God gonna charge his sons? The sons are free. Salvation has come to you because you are an Israelite. You are a son of Abraham. Fuck all that, what John was talking about. He did something completely different than what John taught. But there is, in the apocryphal text of John the Baptizer, John the Baptizer does not want to baptize Jesus. He literally says to him, like, dude, you are leading the Israelites astray. He literally says that. And then he's like, he calls him the deceiver. And he gives him this test, right? And he said, if you can answer these three questions, I'll baptize you. Because what Jesus keeps saying is, baptize me by the name that you invoke. Make me your disciple, and I'll put you in my gospel. He said, I'll write you in my gospel. And John doesn't want to do it. He gives him a test in three questions. And what Jesus does is he plays on words. How can a virgin become a virgin again? A virgin can become a virgin again if she go to heaven and don't have sex in heaven. Like he plays on words. How can a blind man become how can a stammerer become a good speaker or something? Like a stammerer can become a good speaker when he writes poetry. Like he plays on words. And then this voice comes out and goes, John, baptize the deceiver. This voice tells John the baptizer to baptize the deceiver. And John baptizes Jesus. And this is in the apocryphal text called John the Baptizer. And so we know that John's disciples did not like the followers of Jesus. They did not think that Jesus was the Messiah. They did not think that Jesus was divine. And so, yeah, like I don't think that he was a disciple of John the Baptist. I think if this person did exist, there was this man named Yeshua. I think he built a crew of thugs and tried to join John's crew. That's what I think.
Wow, this feels like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. Like,
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying from what I see. Don't be calling me talking about things that this is what I see.
Telenovela. I'm just like, what? No, stop it. And then he did what? No, stop it.
I mean, think about it. He told them how to steal a donkey using authority, like using keywords. He's like, hey, he says, use these words. It's the way he says it, right? And he's like, hey, you're going to see a donkey tied in this city. Untie it when you get in there. And if anybody asks what you're doing, just say these words. Because he knows, right?
Yeah. And I when I'm listening to you talk, and you're talking about how he basically plays on these words. It just seems like even in the New Testament, you see Jesus playing on these words. He's very vague about these things. Even when he's talking about his parables, he's not really giving a straightforward answer. And it just feels like this is like, at least with the apocrypha, like that seems like a very, I guess, a consistent trait with the Jesus character. And it reminds me back with Justin when he was talking about Jesus being a failed prophet. And I think he was talking about, was it Isaiah chapter 7? He said 7, 8, and 9. I forgot what it was about because I have short-term memory loss. But it was something about, I think it was about the king of, what's his name? Is that Hezekiah, something like that. And I think it was about, yes, and I think it was about him as a king, I think him being born and him being a king of Israel, and then basically kind of Jesus kind of taking even the prophet Isaiah out of context, and you see that happen, and even with Matthew kind of misquoting certain verses and saying, oh, this is from Jeremiah, whereas it's actually in Zechariah, and you're just like sitting there and you're like, huh? And when you even read with the book of John, it just made me wonder why they had to kind of make this like disclaimer, if I could say, of just to make sure everyone is like on par. Like John the Baptist is not the Messiah. So I'm just gonna write this. Why? Just so you know he's not the Messiah. So it's very clear that he is not. So it seemed like there was that quite competition happening at that time, where we are, and of course today we think that Jesus was the only Messiah, and then when you learn more of the history, it's just like, oh, John Baptist wasn't just some man who was like, yeah, Jesus, he's cool, I like him, has long hair for no damn reason. He looks cute. Why not? It's like there was that competition happening, and that there was the clash between the followers and the different preachers. But wow, I never knew anything about that apocrypha. Like it feels like learning something I'm not supposed to know.
That's how it felt when I was reading it, because we were told not to read outside the Bible. And I'm like, when I saw that it called Jesus the deceiver, I was like, holy shit.
I feel like you're coming across something sacred. Like,
like I'm gonna get in trouble.
God, is God watching me read this?
I was like, ain't no way. I was so shocked. Like the more I learned, I think my favorite one was the testimony of truth. I think I was watching who was this lady? I think it was Elaine Pagels. I think she's a Second Temple scholar, but I'm not sure. And she was talking about the testimony of truth. Oh yeah, she was talking about Satan, the origins of Satan, and where Satan, the idea of Satan came from. And she was talking about the testimony of truth and how Jesus was considered like the serpent in the garden. Like Jesus Christ was seen as the serpent in the garden, and God was the demiurge. I was like, what is going on? What's happening? Y'all, these people have guts. I could never, ever, even in a million years, put that and that together. That feels wrong to my indoctrinated mind. That was so wrong. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, did you have anything else, Asherah? I think it was a great conversation. We've reached the end of the show. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we go?
Oh, no, I don't have anything else. But thank you for taking in my call.
You're so welcome. Thank you for calling in. I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. I do want to read the super chats right quick. Dina, do you have access to the super chat?
I don't think so. Hold on. Where would I find that?
It would be in the doc. I don't know if...
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So we have AG 999. The nerds are here to support Thanka and Zena. We love you all. Thank you, AG, for your support, as always. 1999, Jay Wissick with the Hail Satan. Thank you so much, Jay Wissick. Luke Riley with the $2. No crapping for Jesus. Yeah, keep your pants on. Go to the bathroom. Use tissue. Wash your hands. In $9.99, Satan was framed. Thinker, I love when you retell Bible stories. I'm going to need a Thinker voiceover for the Bible. Thank you, Satan was framed. I appreciate you so much. All right, y'all. It is time. We want to thank our backup for helping out tonight. Hello, Jamie. I mean, why did I call you? I am so sorry, Kelly. I am so. You know what? I called Jamie Kelly the last time I was on the show because you look like a Jamie to me.
He does look like a Jamie.
And you're gonna always be in my head, and don't take it the wrong way. You will always be Jamie Jimmy because you look like your name should be Jamie or Jimmy. No, I'm sorry, but
that's fine. And we both have androgynous names too, so that to make it even more confusing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But from the first day that I met you, you were in my head. You were Jamie. And I keep having trouble getting that out. So I apologize.
Well, if you call me Jamie, I won't take it personally.
I'm just. I have name blindness. And trust me, they know I have. It's been like that my whole life. I think I got it from my auntie too. Like she'll call people Jesus. She'll be like Jesus. I mean, like so. But thank you so much for being our backup host. Did you have any thoughts on the show?
You know, there are just a couple of things. Mostly it was from Tom's call, right? And you mentioned that when you were taking calls and the young men seemed to be different than the young women. I think that society and our culture, I mean, you look at the movies and some of the TV shows, young boys are kind of conditioned to be that way. I hate to say it, but I mean, like I kind of felt that way when I was 16 and 17, Fortunately for me, I unlearned that, but yeah, I mean, it seems like our culture kind of like steers young men into that direction. Maybe because they need cannon fodder. I don't know, but but that seems to be. And then you were talking about teaching as you get older, and obviously I'm older. And what I found is that instead of telling people, "Hey, this is the right way to do it," I found that if I say something that a lot more chill, like, I found that if I do it this way, it seems like it's a lot easier for me to do. And it seems like I create less friction when I'm teaching people how to do things. So I think it's just, you need to be mindful of what you say to people, I think, and that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, I think relatable experience is the most powerful than commanding or giving advice.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was about it. And asking questions, always ask questions. That was for our second caller. I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but I didn't write it down like an idiot. But yeah, always keep asking questions. And I always ask people who have deconstructed how they started on their path. Number one answer, I started asking questions. You can never ask too many questions.
Absolutely. What Badge says, questions are the gods to the answers.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Well, Zena, how can people find out more about you and share your contact information?
Yes, you can find me right here on TikTok. I am right now live with ACA down here near Thinker, so you can hit that follow button there. I am trying to crank up my YouTube, so bear with me, y'all. I am going to get it together. That is going to be Zenamae Point 2, Zenamae Point 2. So you can find me on those platforms. And pretty soon, coming to a place on the phone near you, I will be starting an Instagram. So watch out for that announcement as well. So thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for being here today, Kelly. I appreciate you. Thank you to
you both were great. I totally appreciate the two of you. You were amazing, both of you today. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you for the
Thank you,
opportunities. I appreciate everybody out there in TikTok land and in YouTube land. Thank you for being here, everyone. We'll see y'all next week. We are here Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until next time.
Thank you, Thinker. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, Zena. Bye, y'all.
What will it take for you to start opening your eyes, to start questioning the bullshit everyone around you buys? I think it's setting up your business, what goes on between my thighs. I wonder when we'll be rid of your life.
Watch Talk Heathen live Sundays at 1 p.m. Central. Visit tiny.cc/YTTH and call into the show at 512-991-9242 or connect to the show online at tiny.cc/callth.
Life has stopped.